it's your choice if there's a future.
Alright, so what got me into lifting? So back in 2015, 2016, just got to my first and only duty station in North Carolina in Jacksonville, and I was in one of the rinky-dink gyms they had over there, and I was always doing full-body workouts. I never had any sort of plan. I never followed any sort of regimen. I just kind of went in there, hit every muscle that I thought I could, and then I left. So one day, one of my boys, Caleb, said, "Hey man, just like come live with me for like a week." And I was like, "All right, I guess. Like this dude's pretty big. I guess he knows what he's doing." So then we started powerlifting, plain and simple. We started powerlifting. My bench was garbage. I don't think I even hit 135 the first day. I didn't even deadlift until about 3 months in, but that's neither here nor there. How I got into powerlifting, plain and simple. I just started lifting with my boy Smaragdus, Caleb, and from there it just kind of took off. I found that I had a passion for it, and I kept that going, and here we are. So this is one of my favorite questions on here. My boy Charlie, down in North Carolina. Why do I disrespect gravity so much? Well,
fuck you, science!
This is from James out in Arizona. How has being stronger benefited your day-to-day life? I don't know. But to be perfectly serious, being stronger, I just feel better day to day. I'm able to stand up at work longer. I'm able to do my job and move weights for people without getting completely gassed for 4 hours at a time, 5 hours, 6 hours. It doesn't matter. I've become very efficient at what I do because of the training that I do. So day-to-day life-wise, that's really the only thing. One of my favorite questions on here is, what type of program will I be using to prep for this meet? This question is actually from one of my good friends, Tyrone. I've had the pleasure of lifting alongside him and also coaching alongside him a couple times. Tyrone is an American Open powerlifting champion. So the fact that he reached out on my post and actually put some questions down, I'm very humbled, and I'm very glad that I'm actually able to put some information out there for him as well. I'll be going the route of progressive overload. That's the route that I've been taking for the past 2-3 years. It's worked very well for me. I'm going to be throwing a little bit of hypertrophy in there. I will also, going back to that hypertrophy and progressive overload topic, I'm going to be diving into that in a different video as well. So don't stress. Going to explain everything eventually. All right. So one of the next questions is, what type of accessory lifts will I be using to complement my other lifts? So main lifts are squat, bench, and deadlift. All right, in that order. So I'm going to start diving into a lot of the banded bench press, banded squat, and deadlift. Some chain action thrown in there. This is a huge opportunity to implement a lot of new training methods that I've never tried before. So I will let you guys know how that progresses as I go along, but I'm totally excited to try all these things out and actually implement them effectively and see how they work. What is my goal through this? So my goal through over the next couple months is I want to get 500 on squat, 600 on deadlift. Want to get back up to 350, 360 on bench. When I lost weight, there's a huge carryover with body weight and bench press weight. So lost a little bit of the power on the bench. But as I said, Going to be working a lot with different training methods on the bench press, squat, and the deadlift. So hopefully I can hit that goal or exceed that. Now, my ultimate goal with powerlifting in general is eventually I want to start a foundation, I guess you would call it, or some sort of company that helps combat anxiety and depression and incorporates powerlifting and fitness and nutrition as well. What do you do for cardio? From James.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
The real answer to that question is I do a little bit of conditioning towards the end of my powerlifting sessions. So for example, on leg day, towards the end of my sessions, I'll do a circuit. I'll go 3 times through I'll do a sled push for 20 yards, I'll do a sled drag back for 20 yards, and then I'll go into some barbell lunges and then some quad extensions. Just circuit through about 3 or 4 times. Takes about 15 minutes tops, and that's my cardio. I'm starting to implement more conditioning days into my schedule. Those will last about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on what I have planned. So that's the actual answer for what I do for cardio. Next 2 questions kind of go hand in hand. One is, are you going to gain weight during this prep? 2 is, what will be your diet? So, answer to question number 1, yes, I will be gaining weight during this prep. I want to get to about 188, 190, train a little heavier for this meet, and then cut down weight prior to the meet, just about a week or so prior. My diet's going to consist of a lot of protein, a lot of carbs, some fats thrown in there. I'm going to be eating about 3,500 calories a day. So that's, 3 protein shakes, hell of a lot of steak, chicken, eggs, a lot of whole foods, all right? I'm going to try to stay away from a lot of the processed stuff. I haven't been doing a very good job of that lately, but once we start diving deeper into this prep, it's going to be a lot more strict and a lot more regimented in that dietary department. So, I'm going to dive into that more as well in another video. These last 2 questions I saved for the end because they're not loaded, but there is a lot that one could potentially say for these last couple questions. The first one is, how many bad days do you have when you lift? So, when it comes to the actual physical weight that I'm lifting, I wouldn't call it a bad day, but there are days where in my head, like, I could have moved that faster. That should have been easier. I should have been past this by now. But all in all, it's all in your head. There's a lot of new lifters out there who think, they're just going to go into the gym, they're going to start grinding, they're going to crush it, they're going to start breaking PRs all the time. That's not the case. There are many, many, many times where I went into the gym and just felt completely gassed from the start, whether it was from a bad day at work, or I didn't sleep the night before, I had a crappy day of eating. The list goes on and on and on. So, how many bad days do I have? Not particularly many, but there are days where I walk in the gym and I just got to get in there and get my shit done, and that's the end of the story. Live to live another day. Alright guys, last thing is advice for starters. My top advisory to anybody starting out in the gym is be patient. Just be patient. There was a time where I didn't think I would get anywhere close to 500 on squat ever. And, the other day I just hit an all-time PR. Alright. I'm not bragging, but I'm just saying, be patient. That PR took me years. Probably, I think 2 or 3 years it took me, alright? Just be patient, be consistent, and just keep at it. Another thing is do your research, alright? There's a lot of bad information out there. There's a lot of false info. There's a lot of stupid companies putting ads out on Facebook that says, you know, you can get 6-pack abs in 2 weeks and not even work out. Don't follow that stuff. Don't. Please, for the love of God. Do your research, all right? If you have somebody that is very knowledgeable in those fields, please go to them, all right? But it's just like in school, like back to the basics. You know, you got to do your research, cite your resources, all right? And the last thing is there's no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts to strength. There's no shortcuts to losing body fat, all right? There are methods that work better for other people, all right? One method might work well for me. One method might work well for somebody else. There is no shortcuts when it comes to fitness, all right? You have to work hard, be consistent, and be determined, all right? I will be posting more videos in the future about some of the topics that I didn't really get to in this video, all right? This is just kind of a jump start to all the stuff that I'm going to be putting out over the next few months. And hopefully past that, I really hope this grows and you guys share it. Share it with your friends. Share it on Facebook. Share it with whoever you want. Just share it, all right? Link for the YouTube channel is going to be in my Instagram bio. Feels really weird saying that because I've never done something like this before. So, click the link, share it, keep watching, stay tuned. Thank you guys.